Hello, everybody. My name is Tucker, and welcome back to our Russian Fishing for Float Fishing journey. Today, I have come back to Old Burg, and of course, my introduction gets interrupted by a bite here, and I miss it, but I did finish my shopping trip over at Mosquito before I left, and we now have a bolognese rod. So we ended up getting the Express Fishing Kingmaker bolognese rod. It is a 6.2 kilo rod. I got a Sputnik Element Pro 3000, and I could have gone for a 4000, but I went with the 3000 because I may end up getting a ultralight or a light bolognese rod in the future that this will work on. So it's a 5.4 reel. I've got 5.2 line on. I did not put a leader on here. And right now, I would like to use sweet dough instead of garlic dough since we're aiming for carp fishing. So, what a bolognese rod is it's much more in line with a bottom rod in that you cast it out, you're able to reel it in just like you would any other rod with a reel on it. And I miss another fish. But it's got, and I picked up the wrong thing. But it's got a float on it. And usually all you have to do is something like that. Just turn the rod and you will hook the fish. So I actually have whatever this is hooked. This is the first fish I have caught on it. Didn't actually expect to catch it with where it was, but it looks like a pretty decent crucian to start everything out at. Especially since I did not set the depth properly. The fact that I got a fish is surprising. So like the telly rods, and this is showing me a flaw in my plan. Like the telly rods, you do set a depth for how deep you want the hook to be. So here I've got it at a meter. On the bolognese rod, it's probably, I think 30 centimeters is the default. Yeah, 30 centimeters is. So we'll set it to 1 meter deep like everything else we're using. And I'll set it to a 6-meter clip. Because unlike that was interesting. Unlike the bottom rod, it goes out 6 meters and then down a meter. Where the bottom rod just goes out 6 meters. So gives us a different opportunity for fishing. Probably more opportunities for bream, which I'm thinking about going after tonight. But also still float fishing opportunities. So I find bolognese rods are definitely useful on rivers because you can just let them float down the river and fetch it from there. And activities interrupting my brain. But usually all you have to do to hook the fish is just turn the rod. A lot of times on rivers, I will not lock the reel. Nice fish here. A lot of times on rivers, I will not even lock the reel and just let it float with no clip. Nice fish. 1.5 kilo crucian on telly stick. Nice. And I'll just let the bolognese rod float for a while. The other thing I did, and I got a fish on, small, crappy, whatever, crucian probably. The other thing I did is change the rig. So it starts off in fixed float, which isn't a whole lot different, but with a bolognese rod, you do have to buy a special bolognese float if you use it in a bolognese setup. So I did go ahead and get the bolognese float and set this up as a true bolognese rig. It is supposed to be raining all day here in game. So my thoughts for what we're going to do today is there's a bream spot that's popped up on VK that this rod, a telestick rod, will not be able to get far enough out to. So what I'm thinking about doing is using the bolognese rod and the bottom rod for bream fishing, tossing this rod in for with a night crawler for eel since it's supposed to be raining all day. And we'll see how that goes. Nope, didn't get it. It's too late on that. Not too late over here, though. This is another good fish. $644 gibble carp. So the fun thing about fishing bolognese in a lake is you can lock it and you can tighten it up like you would a bottom rod, and now it's almost going to self-hook a fish if a fish grabs it. Ah, too late. I was watching the new rod too much. I did get a really, really long bolognese rod too. This one is an 8-meter rod, so I should be able to cast pretty far with it as well. Especially since we may have some lighter setups on it. We won't have a big 30-gram weight on it. With that said, I basically spent all the silver we had because I bought one other thing. So we've always been able to zoom in once. I can now zoom in a second time. For 150 silver, I bought a set of binoculars, which is very useful for bolognese because you're going to be throwing the float out so much further that being able to zoom in a second time helps. I missed it. That was my fault. Finally wore the dog out today. We've had about 3 inches of rain today and it's still falling. So it's been a rough day for him. He's barked at me to go outside multiple times only to then just get drenched and question why he wanted to go out. Honestly, a bolognese rod right here is probably, especially the long one that I got, probably doesn't make sense, but I'm trying to get myself used to it. That's why I'm using it, because it will make sense when we go bream fishing here. Working on training my brain, how it works, how it looks, what happens when a fish bites it, that type of thing. Although bream will attack it differently than carp will. And jumped the gun there. Did I miss over here? Nope. Come on. Feel like I've had multiple times when I should have caught a fish today. Didn't. Small gibble. Almost not worth keeping. That was my fault. That was my fault. Let's reset this one up. I do like to keep a little bit of slack in the line because you will kind of pull on it when you pick it up. And if you pick it up before the fish is fully on, you can scare the fish off. Decent crucian here. Not amazing though. I think the next thing I'm going to need, especially with that super long rod, is the longer net. Missed it again. Probably missed the bite over here too. Nope, got this one. Ooh, I'm glad I came back for this one. This one's probably about 1 kilo. 1.1, not bad. Wrong rod. I think I'm going to reorder it and put rod 1 as the telestick. Rod 2 as the bolognese. Especially for when we do what I'm thinking next, because the spot I'm thinking about going out to has a 17-meter clip on it, so there's no way this rod would even get close to that. So having the bottom rod and the bolognese rod side by side makes more sense in that instance. All right, you're gonna pull some drag. I'll switch over to you. Decent crucian here. I honestly wanted to get a light rod that gives you XP bonus for every fish you catch. We just couldn't afford one at this point. We might have been able to, but I wanted the binoculars. I knew we wouldn't be able to with binoculars. That second zoom, and you press Z a second time or Z a second time to zoom in. You see how I picked the rod up with it fairly tight there, and I picked the float out of the water. That's why I try and leave a little bit of slack in the line, and because I scared the fish that was biting it off. And just like normal telestick fishing, float fishing, the floats will blow in the breeze, although since they are, sorry, I'm opening a drink as I'm talking, shouldn't do that. Since they are a little bit thinner, they tend to be less impacted by the wind. Another good fish here, I think. And I'm wrong. This one fears. Cannot talk today. Me talk good. This one felt small. That's what I was trying to say. It's Friday. It's rained all day. It's actually pretty cold out there too. It's in the 40s, low 40s right now. And it was high 70s, maybe even 80 yesterday. Did it again. I almost need to just hold the bolo rod. With the wind. Or not lock the reel. Decent crucian here. Been a while since I've used a bolo rod, so I'm gonna get my mind back into it as well. Got it. I mean, honestly, with how long this one is where we are right now, I'm almost using it as a Ella stick. I think I got about a quarter of a turn out of the reel there when I picked it up before it was all the way reeled in. 700-gram crucian. Tiny crucian. Just realized I hadn't set the quiver tip. Nope. Thought there was a fish on there. The float was completely underwater. Let's see here. It's about 7 o'clock in the evening. We got about 2 or 3 hours before I want to go breaming. too late. Had to try. Good crucian there. Missed that one while I was pulling that crucian in. Usually about 2200 that bream time starts. So probably about 2100 I'm going to start moving. We don't have too far of a walk to go for where I want to go to, but I'd rather be set up at 2200 than getting there afterwards. Today's honestly been okay here too for a rainy, semi-windy day. 22 and a half minutes in, 21 fish. Some pretty decent quality fish too. And some crappy fish. The fog's coming in and it's starting to get nighttime. Let's go ahead and just pick up and head over to Bream. Got it. So the downside about how long this rod is, it's hard to get things in the net. So definitely I think the next purchase is going to be the longer net. Oh, nice one. Another, I thought it was over a kilo. Yep. All right. So I want to go over to 5143. Over this way. Put that away so I'm not dangling out in front of you. One 43 was right over here. And let's change up the order. So I want, this may be difficult to do. Got water stick and stick. So I want that to be 1. Want that to be 2. Did I do that right? This one, I'm going to put a 1-knot hook on, a big old hook with night crawlers. And hope we get lucky on an eel. This one, I'm going to switch over to garlic dough. And switch my clip up. I'm going to go with a 13 on the bolo rod. And this one, I'm going to take the cage off and replace it with the sinker. And also go garlic dough. And I want to go 15. 17, sorry. This one. kind of uphill here, which is making casting this a little difficult. There we go. And now you know why I wanted the binoculars, because this is not zoomed in at all. That's what we've always been able to do. And you can see it okay, but that makes it pretty clear. Wrong button. You all didn't see it, but had something pop up on my screen there for a second behind the game, or actually on top of the game for me. We just crossed 2200, so kind of getting into prime bream time now. Got something on here. Whatever it is, it's nothing special. 75-gram common roach. And a size 1 hook. It's still raining out there. And not just dripping, it's raining pretty good. You can hear stuff falling out of my gutters. Some of the drainage spots on the side of the road were 4 to 6 inches wide with running water earlier. About half an inch deep. Well, this is not working out as well as I was hoping it would. Translation, this is not working out at all. Come on, fishy fish. The main downside for me, just kind of thinking out loud here, with the rod and reel combo I bought was just line capacity. The reel couldn't hold too much more. It's going to be about 150 meters is all it could hold. So I only bought 100 meters. Everyone else is getting pretty sad face. I hit mute. Um, Switch over to Pearl Barley there to see what we could do. Cut a small bream. If we get another hit here pretty quickly, I may switch Bolo Rod over as well. Everyone else just pulling breams out left and right. Said switch baits game. I didn't mean to pick that rod up. Meant to pick this one up. tiny bream. Rain stopped. Man, come on, fish. Don't do this to me. Try moving where I was casting. Just looked over at the VK forums. They were casted more like this. And right at that 2.5 number. Still off to the side from where I really want to be. Oh God. Come on, fishy fish. Kinda wish I hadn't left the carp spot now. And it feels like these bream require bream ground bait, which we cannot make yet. I will freely admit this evening has been a bust. Yep, not a good day here. I'm gonna go ahead and reel it in. We'll wrap it up here for the day. Didn't get any eels. Caught a few decent fish on both float and the new bolo rod over in the carp fishing area. But Bremen today was just a bust. We're still a little early to call it, but I'm not feeling like things are going to go well, so I'm just going to go ahead and call it here. We'll go sell what we have. Gonna guess probably 30 to 40. Although we might have gotten a couple cafe orders. There were a couple of Christian Gibble cart orders. Sell our 5 smallest here. Well, let's do the overall check of 32. Not the best for 45 minutes of fishing, 44 minutes of fishing. But we'll be able to raise that up. So 5 crappy crucians that aren't worth anything become 8. Only got 1 gibble, bleak, roach, bream, white bream. Nothing else. So ended up with 40 silver out of it. A couple of decent crucians. No, 1 decent gibble. But I'm gonna go and wrap it up there for the day. And again, we basically spent all of our silver. Find the bolo rod. I may go over to winding and use it there. I don't know. I haven't decided. I may go over to Belaya and try some things there as well too, because I think there's some options, but I don't know. We'll just figure that out for tomorrow, but I appreciate everyone watching today. Tight lines. We'll be back again tomorrow, and have a good one. Bye-bye now.